Building applications that integrate generative AI can be incredibly complex. There are a lot of moving parts in terms of cleaning data and using techniques such as RAG and fine-tuning and getting all this working together in an environment where you can continuously improve an app based on feedback. So I'm going to cover a few ways you can identify and fix common issues. The first thing is including generative AI without a clearly defined purpose, so you might not deliver meaningful results. You want to define the specific value that generative AI brings to your application or business and the end user that's going to be using your application. And you want to ensure that the implementation of generative AI aligns with your overall strategy and goals. Now, if you've considered that already and the actual challenge is that the generative AI is not giving you good enough results, then it could be that there's a lack of detail in your generative AI prompting. So vague or poorly structured prompts can lead to irrelevant or low quality outputs. So you want to be precise and detailed in your prompts to guide the generative AI effectively. Now, you also want to consider if you're using generative AI for a task that is not actually suited to. Generative AI excels in tasks like text generation, image creation, and pattern recognition. Avoid generative AI for tasks that require precise logic or long-term memory or tasks beyond its capabilities. Ensure the task is well-defined and within the AI strengths, avoiding any overly broad scopes. Generative AI is good in scenarios where perhaps you want to automate a certain task or you want to augment somebody's role to help them do something more efficiently, or perhaps you want to scale up work that you're doing to a wider audience. So generative AI has the ability to amplify the activities that you're doing. It's also worth considering things like user experience. Items like poor performance, for example, slow response times or low quality outputs can frustrate users. So optimize the model and the infrastructure for better performance and regularly monitor and fine-tune the app to maintain speed and accuracy. Now, let me take a moment to say that if you are building apps or AI models on Google Cloud and you're interested in reducing your cloud spend and reducing the downtime of your apps or models, then head over to fernie.com/calculator, and there you'll get up to 10% off your Google Cloud spend and be able to use your savings to offset the cost of instance support and support with general day-to-day cloud activities as well. So heading back over to our generative AI challenge, if you're experiencing poor quality outputs, one of the challenges for that could be that you have poor data quality, so poor inputs going into your generative AI prompts or fine-tuning or model training. Generative AI performance is directly linked to data quality, so ensure data is clean, diverse, and regularly updated. And invest in data pre-processing and validation processes. You also want to make sure that your outputs are measurable. So without any well-defined goals, the app can underperform, but you also want to set specific measurable objectives for your app. And then align the AI's outputs with these goals. So these can be things like how quickly a response is generated, or that when you ask a certain question, you expect to receive certain details in a response. And if you're not achieving your metrics, then you go back and you refine your prompts and your input data to make sure that you're getting the output that you expect to receive. Now, generative AI models require significant processing power. So one thing we always do is that we make sure all of our infrastructure scales automatically and we use cloud solutions or optimize our models to make sure that they're running effectively on the infrastructure that we have. You also want to make sure that when you're doing any custom training that you're not overfitting. Overfitting leads to poor performance in real-world scenarios. Now, this is where, for example, when you're asking the questions, it's really good at answering the questions from your testing dataset. So you've trained it really well to answer those questions. But then when you provide it with some other new input, it doesn't perform so well. So it's really good at answering these questions that you've trained it on many times, but not so good at answering diverse scenarios. So make sure you're bringing in lots of those diverse scenarios into your training and iteratively improving it over time as usage changes. And then implement those techniques like cross-validation. You also want to make sure you're gathering that user feedback. This is a key step that so many miss, but user feedback is essential to adapting evolving needs. To establish feedback loops to continuously update the model, and make sure that you're giving that experience that the users expect. This could be something as simple as a thumbs up, or rating from 1 to 5, or actually being able to give feedback in textual format that you can then assess behind the scenes. Because those users will be telling you about their actual experiences in using your tool. So even a powerful AI can fail if the user experience is lacking. So you want to prioritize intuitive design, and when you're testing, test with real users and get their feedback. Make sure the interface is as simple as possible, ensure any outputs are understandable, and that the tool fits nicely within the user's workflow, so any inputs and outputs are in the formats that the user would expect to use. So keep an eye on those things: data, quality, objectives, resources, overfitting, feedback, and user experience. And make sure your solution is continuously adapting to that feedback over time to ensure that you're on that path to success.